people, welcome to my podcast Life Adventures Taught Me, the podcast channel where, besides some general life experiences, we explore topics of personal growth and self discovery, which we will do today. So, today we will talk more about personal growth and self discovery. Today's episode is about adaptability and authenticity. I want to talk about adaptability and authenticity as we develop our adaptability skills throughout the years. I want to talk about how to choose and how to know where we should adapt more as ourselves, not trying to put comfortable other people in a certain situation, but yourself, to put yourself in the first place so you feel comfortable, not other people. Throughout the years and looking at myself in different situations throughout my life in the past, there is something that I have realized. Yesterday, when I spoke with my friend, I realized how my skill for adaptability was changing in the past, like throughout the years. Now, when I look back, I can see myself in different stages of life, and I see my adaptability to certain situations and people differently. And there is a thing that I have changed, especially in the last few years. What I did is that I combined a lot more authenticity with adaptability. And the results have shown that I became a much happier person with being satisfied, more satisfied. And I became more myself in those situations because it feels right, it feels better. So I have learned to stand up for myself more, and I have learned to speak up when I need to and still adapt myself to a certain situation or people. So the key in certain situations was more authenticity and less adaptability. Or I can say it on another way so you can understand me better. Um, Adapt a certain situation more on your way. Adapt the situation, adapt yourself, the situation on the way that you feel good or the way that you feel better than you actually do. So now I would like to go through with my thoughts through my life, like since my childhood. Let's see, like I didn't think about it before, but I think it would be interesting to go through my childhood and see my how my adaptability was developing. As I remember me as a child, like when I was like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, when you are more free, no responsibilities, good times, I was more wild, I was more myself, I was experiencing life, and I would say there my adaptability, I was learning a lot about it. But let's go like also comparing adaptability and authenticity from my childhood years until now. So as a child now, like from 4, 5, 6 years old, of course I was experimenting more. I was more wild, I was learning about it, I was adapting myself, I was experimenting stuff to see how can I adapt myself. And I would say over there my authenticity, being myself over there, was really strong because I didn't care about the different circumstances, I didn't care what other people will think, so I cared just like so I don't hurt myself. Like if I hurt myself, I learned like okay, this is not the right thing to do, I will adapt myself better and still being myself, just like not putting myself in the danger as any other child. And my authenticity was on a really high level. So, but then it comes the primary schools. From my experience, going to the primary school, like it's a big change because as you are a child, like mostly all the time with your parents, your neighbors. You were most of the time with the people that you already know and the people that surround yourself every day. When the primary school comes, there is like something new, and then everything is new for you. So I would say that authenticity and adaptability goes inside. Like when we come into an unknown situation, in order to adapt better, authenticity it's on a lower level. So adaptation it's always on the first place because I think it's natural for the human nature, for the arrival for the for the survival. So adaptation goes first and then authenticity. So throughout the life, authenticity goes up and down depending on the situation and stage of my life. So when I started like primary school, it was on a lower level. Until the end of my primary school, from 7 years to 14, let's say, I think even there my authenticity, like in adaptability, was going up and down. I think it was, I would say, first grade when everything was new, authenticity was really on a low level, and then like second, third, fourth grade, it came back. You met your environment. These are the people you're gonna hang out for 8 years, and I guess it was more freedom. I felt better over there. I remember 7th and 8th grade, like the last years of primary school, my authenticity, instead of going up, they went down because I didn't really feel like I fit the class where I was. Like they were not the same interests. I was not so much myself because there were not so many people as I was. They were interested in different stuff than I was. And then when you are in minority, I was not being the same match as other people. So I felt like not having the right people around me. So that's when you don't have right people around you, that's when your authenticity goes down. Then comes the high school. That was when my authenticity was the lowest. I went to another city because I'm a village boy. I come from a small village, and the city where I went, it was more like a town, like small, really small city, but still it is like a much bigger place than the village that I come from. I would say in the high school, that's the part when I met a lot of people. They were, I don't know, I met a lot of mean people. In primary school I could realize like how people can be mean, but I was not expecting that level in high school. For me, everything was new. I felt a little bit lonely because in the class where I was, each person that was there, it had like another person from the village, or they traveled with their bus. I was the only one who was like really far from the town, and mostly I didn't have like people alike next to me. But okay, I adapted the situation, and because of the mentality of people I had in my surrounding, in the class and all around, that's where my authenticity went down. It came inside myself, and I was not complete myself. I was more quiet and like analyzing the situation, but that's where I didn't feel good. So until the end of the high school, it was going up, of course, and at the end, like third and fourth grade, I was like totally fine with it, and like my authenticity, it came out, still not completely. So I would say in my high school, like when I look back, what I would do more is that I would let out my authenticity more, be more like myself. But I understand because I didn't have so much people alike, and I was mostly alone. And then comes the start of the university. It was similar as the finishing high school, but it was a lot more freedom. No, it was not similar. It was much better because I'm in another city, I changed the environment, and here you can choose who you can be with. In high school, you need to go with the classes, and in university also, but it's like almost 200 people in the same class and like listening to the same course, and that's different. Adaptation, it was much easier for me, and I was just waiting for that because there is more freedom. So, a conclusion: when there is more freedom, for you it's easier to adapt. And for you it's easier to let out your authenticity, and it's easier to be more yourself and become even more yourself. So the university, I felt it really good, like new environment. I saw that I have like adaptability on a really good level. And then in the next years I did few exchanges and also my master studies. So it was 5 years of university. From third year to fifth year I did 4 student exchanges. I was going to Serbia, going to different foreign countries, living there, different experiences, and coming back to Serbia. So that's where I was already easy, you know, to adapt, and I would say I was adapting really easy and really good. My authenticity in these exchanges was like really on a high level. I was not like holding myself, like of being myself. I throw myself out there the way I was, and people really accepted me. And I would say that in all of these exchanges, a lot of people would, I would say, a lot of people liked me, and we made like amazing memories. And that's where I realized, oh, okay, that's that's how it is. Like that's how the life can be. Like when you are with the right people, with the similar people. I was being more myself, and that's where the people similar to me, they recognized me. So in that adaptation, on each exchange, different country, different surrounding rules, and different environment, I was adapting myself, but I didn't let down my authenticity. So when I showed it, the right people will recognize you, similar people to you, and then you stay with those people, and the outcome is that you feel good with those people. If I didn't stay more myself, I would be more like quiet, and I wouldn't find those good friends that I found over there. Saludos for them now. There are many from many countries, because there were many exchanges, but I'm so glad I met all of them, because they also participated in creating myself and like embracing my authenticity, being myself, because they accepted me the way I am, and they liked me the same way as I like them too. So I would like to thank them for all the memories and experiences we had, because it made me the person I am right now, and I would say that I am really proud of the person I am. I would say I feel really happy and satisfied. Every day I'm working on it, every day like the life brings us challenges, but I really do feel good about it. And after university, throughout the years also, there are the love stories, love experiences that teach you a lot of things, and there are many bad moments that you go through. And I would say that the end of my university years and after university, that's where I had like more experiences like that. So all these experiences from the childhood, primary school, end of primary school, high school, start of university, university exchanges, after university experiences until now, and I'm 27 years, all these experiences gave me all these conclusions that I'm giving to you. They make me learn all this stuff, and I would say that all these experiences and years showed me how to adapt and how to be yourself. Like where is better to adapt more, where is to be better to be more authentic. But what we all miss generally, I think for some people it's hard to adapt, but I would say the friends and like people around me, what they miss more, it's being authentic. It's because of the fear, it's because of the no support, it's because of the no understanding in their surrounding and many different stuff, but the fear is on the first place, I would say. And I would say that I conquered those fears on a really good way, and the new fears, they always come. But for you, as the new fear comes, it's easier to overcome it, because you already have experiences of beating up the other experiences that appeared in your life before. So the more fears you beat up, the easier for you it's to beat up the future fears. Okay, so now as we went through, let's say, adaptability, and like I explained you some circumstances, some impacts in my life that it made me adapt more or less. Now I would like to go back to adaptability and authenticity, talking about them in a general way and in different situations. So let's define adaptability. What does it mean? Adaptability refers to the ability to adjust or change in response to new circumstances, environments, or situations. And it involves being flexible, open-minded, and resilient in the face of challenges or changes, whether they are personal, professional, or environmental. An adaptable person can effectively navigate uncertainty, learn from experiences, and modify their behavior or approach as needed to thrive in different contexts, so to improve in different directions. So the adaptability is the ability to flex and change when the things around you shift. It's about being open to new ways of doing things and bouncing back when stuff doesn't go as planned. So it's basically about being able to roll with the punches and adjust, like set your approach as needed to handle whatever life throws your way. So for many situations that I had, I concluded that the person who adapts easier has more understanding, and it's capable more than other people to help other people. So good side of that is that you can find yourself in different situations and for you it's easier to adapt, but the bad side is that the situation where other people can't adapt so easy, or they just don't want to adapt and they wait for you to adapt over there. So different situations where I was like with one person, I don't know where, and then the other person just doesn't want to because they know that I will adapt. And when I adapt in the different situations, like so the other person feels good, I didn't really feel good, and the other person felt because I was like, she or he was like, oh yeah, fuck him, he will adapt and I will feel good. And I did that sacrifice before, and that sacrifice I don't do it anymore. In those situations, you who adapt, the person who adapts, you change yourself in order so the vibe, let's say for both works, but more for the other person. That's how I was doing. Let's say, to better understanding, there is a situation of two people meeting from the work, and you're not friends, you're not close, but you know the person from the work. That person is not actually type of a friend that you would like to spend a lot of time with, but because of the work you need to go through some time together in order to finish some task, some work, and that other person knows you are good in adapting. That person doesn't want to put any effort on adapting because the person knows you are better in it and that you will do it anyway. So they think like, why would I even do it if he's good in it and it's gonna come my way anyway. So that's kind of a little bit of manipulation also that I also am trying like to deal with and to overcome it and like just feel good and be myself where I need to be, not to make the situation comfy for other people, now more for me. You are changing yourself according to the situation, so you create the vibe that will work for the other person. So you change yourself because, for example, in many situations also, like people who complain more, they adapt less, and people who adapt better, I would say in this case I really do adapt good. People who complain a lot, they don't want to adapt, and then in those situations I adapt a lot and then I don't feel myself, and that's what I stopped doing and doing more the things I like. Because if the person is gonna complain all the time and and I change myself all the time in order other person feels good, what is the point? Like then I'm wasting my time for the other person. Of course we're gonna do it for our dear people, or in some situations it's necessary, but I would say 90% of the time it's not necessary. And I started like to be more myself with those people, and I realized that how I actually bounce from them and those people are actually not for me. I think we all are different person with different people. With your best friend you're not the same person as with your other friend, due to the amount of trust you have, of course, but also from my life. I think anyway each person sees me differently, because with each person you had different experiences and conversations. Each friend is not for the same type of conversation, and if you look to your life, to your own life, you know with who you can speak about your deeper thoughts and philosophy, and with who not. You can know with who you can just talk about cars and games, or with who you can talk about, I don't know, gossips or whatever stuff. Like for each person you do different stuff. So in those situations when I started being more myself, that's where I saw that I had in my life a lot of people that are not going the same way, or that generally they didn't do me good. Like I was tolerating so many stuff, I was changing myself, and like I was always looking to a better side. I was like looking for positive things about remembering them, and I was like, oh, it's okay for that. But no, there are the situations of the life with the things that you cannot tolerate, and you speak up, and if speaking up it doesn't work, you should just like distance yourself. And as I say, like when you show more of yourself, you will attract more the people that are right for you, and the people who are not, you'll get distant from them, or they will get distant from you, and that's how it is supposed to be. Because what I would maybe change in my past is that I would be more myself in many situations before. There are not too many, but in order to become even more myself and to become even more the person I want to be, I think I would change the certain situations where I did not act as myself. In the past, I would change my attitude in different things, and I would go more to a direction where I wanted to go and do the things more that I wanted to do, because that would spare my time. That would connect me with the more right places, with more right people for me, and that would take me to better directions. Because I feel like there is a lot of time that each one of us wastes off thinking, this person told me this and this, and then those situations repeat. And I think that many times we just stay in the same circle and we are afraid to get out of it, when we are actually supposed to get out of it in order to overcome some situations and to go on the path, on the way that we are supposed to be. And that's where it's really important, the intuition is really important over there. And when you listen more to yourself, and like when you are more yourself, what comes from inside of you, that's where your right way is, and that's where it will lead you to your happier way and to your more satisfied self. So the thing that I have realized in my life is that I have been adapting a lot, which is a good thing. It made me a person I am right now. The good side of it is being a person who can easily adapt different people, different situations. But throughout the years, what I have realized is that I have been pretending with some other people in order they to like me more, but in order they feel better with me, because I knew what things they like, and I was putting themselves first instead of putting myself on the first place and doing the things the way I like it to do. So I have decided I wanted to lower the amount of situations where I adapt but I don't feel good and I don't feel myself. And that is the reason why I made this episode, because that's something that I think it's really crucial for you to be happy and to go the way that you want to go. And we didn't define authenticity. Authenticity is really important for our personal growth and our relationships. Authenticity is all about being true to yourself, embracing who you really are, your values, beliefs, and emotions, without pretending to be someone else or conforming to social expectations. It's about living in alignment with your innermost thoughts and feelings and expressing yourself sincerely to others, being honest. Because I think with being your most honest self, with you and with others, will make you feel right, like you are doing the right thing. There will be less anxiety, less needs to satisfy other people criteria, expectations, and you will care less what other people think of you, because you invest more time in thinking about you and what is it that you like, what is it that you would like to be, to do, what is your way of doing things in order that you feel good. In personal growth, authenticity is crucial because it raises self-awareness and self-acceptance. When you are authentic, you are more likely to make choices that resonate with your true desires and aspirations, leading to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. It also allows you to build more honest connections with others based on a mutual trust and understanding. And when you are more authentic, as I said, you feel like you are doing the right thing. With this, I think we really do follow our intuition and the things that we like, because lately, as I noticed that I follow more my intuition and I'm more authentic, firstly to myself, I notice how I have much more time for myself and how the life path is taking me naturally where I want to be. So it's more like doing the things rather than just thinking and setting preferences, valuing more my time. And there is a situation that I would like to analyze with you, and probably the most of you have been dealing with this situation at some point in your life. Is that when people and some of your friends, ex-friends, are jealous of you because you are better than them. This is something that happens often, so it happened to me, I would say, many times, but I would like to analyze the certain situation. So it's when my some people and my ex-friends, they were jealous of me, and they were connecting it with their thoughts to their failure. So me being better, they were making it as a reminder for them for some of the things that they are not satisfied about in their life. So with those thoughts, they created a negative energy and they were throwing it at me like I did something wrong. So that negative energy that came from their dissatisfaction and complaints about their life, and from them not facing their fears and problems and not doing anything about the personal growth, they were throwing me that negative energy that they created because they took it as something negative. They were throwing it at me like I did something wrong of just being myself. And they stopped inviting me for things where before I was always the one who organizes stuff and always invites them, but now when the time comes, so they invite me in something, they stop doing it. But the main reason is because I was better in them than them in different stuff, and I stopped letting them like throwing me that negative energy just because they don't feel good about themselves. So they don't deserve me and I don't deserve them. I deserve to be treated better, to feel better, and that my energy it's saved and not wasted on situations like this, playing games. And this action of not adapting and not being authentic, not being myself, when I stopped being like that, it gave me so much more time for other healthy friendships and not wasting time on toxic relationships. I just set it back and focus on the things I like, and I feel from that point I was going much more to the direction where I always wanted to be. So we need to act, we need to adapt a certain situation. So we need to see to what situations we need to adapt and to what not. The combination of adaptability and authenticity, it's really important, but I feel like in many situations in our life we are adapting where we do not really need to adapt, and we are not being ourselves where we do need to be ourselves. So I would encourage you to reflect on your own experiences of authenticity and adaptation. I would encourage you to dig a little bit and seeing where you don't feel good, where do you adapt and you don't really need to analyze situation and then start acting about it in order that you feel good or satisfied about a certain thing or certain situation or with certain person. It's important to know how to recognize, to see and to find the situation where you should act more with authenticity and where less with your authenticity, and you will recognize it based on alignment with your personal values. For example, there are the situations where we should adapt with less authenticity, for example at work. This episode is more about authenticity in the situations like with everyday life. Also at work it can happen if you are not satisfied about something, how somebody treats you, but this episode is more about adaptability with more authenticity in the situations where you don't feel like yourself and where you don't feel right. There is the balance that we need to have between the situations, staying true to yourself, and in just situations just to adapt in order that you achieve the things that you want. That's the balance that we make according on the base of alignment and our personal values, and that's something that each one of us knows, like, because you know what you want to achieve. So analyzing that on your personal values, you will realize in each situation in what amount should be there your authenticity, less or more, and that's something that you know the best. But I'm always more for your authenticity, because for example, if you are at work and doing the job that you don't really like, if you show more your authenticity, maybe your authenticity is going to show you that that job is not for you. Maybe you should stop with that something and like focus on something that is more for you. And maybe some strategy, how do I do it in, for example, in new surroundings, in new environment. I'm always, not always, but most of the time I'm more silent, and I take time to analyze things, to see how it all works over there. And then after a while, when I see how the things work, that's when I adapt my authenticity over there. Okay, so this is how things work in this environment, and I see myself over here, and this is how I'm going to act, and this is where I want to get, this is where I see myself in this new environment, and according to that I act. So always I take time. I'm not authentic immediately, completely. I'm more myself when I realize the new environment, how it works, and when I realize how this environment works, then I can know who I want to be in this environment, and then according to that, my authenticity in adaptation, it raises in order to get me who I want to be in the specific certain environment. So this is where I would like to finish today's episode, and I would like to encourage you to reflect on your own relationships with adaptability and authenticity in your life. My final thought, and let it be the takeaway message: you have the power of embracing authenticity, and you have the control of living in alignment with your true self. So be yourself, and it will take you to the place where you want to be. That's something I'm doing now, especially these months, and I already see a big change, so I encourage you to do it. So what can I say more? Be like me. If you want to be a happier and more positive person, try to keep as many positive stuff as you can in your mind and work on your personal growth. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I already feel only by listening that you have improved your awareness. For more episodes like this and to hear more from me, subscribe, let's do it together. Join me on the journey of personal growth and self-discovery. You can leave a feedback and share some of your own stories. Until the next episode, think about authenticity in adaptation in certain situations of your life, and just be yourself. Ciao, ciao!